verse 8, chapter 12. Mayyev mana adhatsva mahi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayah. Ninth is atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tatah mamichhaptum dhananjaya. 10th one is abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. 11th athaidatapya shaktosi kartum madhyogam ashritah sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. 12th is shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanadhyanam vishishyate ध्यानात् कर्म फल त्यागः त्यागाच्छान्तिरनन्तरम्. Okay, so what you notice here is progressively how Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna in bhakti itself there are different ways in how you look at bhakti. Right, this whole chapter is bhakti yoga, and it's a short chapter. It is a short chapter, but here Krishna is instructing Arjuna to say that where is he coming from? He is saying the previous chapter he said that you have received all of this Divya Drishti and the vision of the Purushottama is because of the Tivra Bhakti that you have in me. Right? The deep bhakti that you carry in me is the reason why you got all of this. It is not my greatness, O Arjuna, it is your greatness. Which means he is saying that if somebody is able to have the amount of bhakti that you have, they will receive the kind of blessings that you received. And so he tries to explain and tries to make it easy, because he's saying a lot of people may or may not be able to completely be able to devote themselves. Not everybody will be capable, not everybody will be first is the ability and then is the willingness. So not all that those who have the willingness have the ability. Even if I have the willingness, there is too much of disturbance within me, right? By in the environment that I am in. Sorry. Sorry. The weather has been a little bad here. So those who have the willingness may not have the ability, because they may be bogged down by a lot of environmental and social situations. And a lot of people who have the ability may not have the willingness. Those who have the willingness may not have the ability, because of a lot of conditions that are required to be conducive for you to be in bhakti. Right? If somebody, you constantly see somebody suffering beside you and some of the other problems are happening continuously, if some some kind of nuisance is constantly being created around you, it is very difficult to for one, even if they have the willingness, they may not be able to, right? Because your environment, your condition, your all of this plays a huge part. Although we will say that I want to be completely devoid of the influence of all of that, for a sadhaka who's trying to, it is very important that you get at least some little space for yourself, some little time for yourself. So that in itself is a big struggle. A lot of people don't even get that. They're not able to set aside space and time for themselves. They'll have the willingness. Like I know of I know of people who, when you talk to them, they will show so much willingness. They'll say, yeah, 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 this is the right thing. We have to do all of that. But something or the other, their prarabdha will be so strong that they will not be able to do it. So the willingness somewhere is residing that I want to, I want to, I want to. And the I will do it always is in the future. It is never in the present tense. Let me do it now. Let me start now. Let me initiate it now. Let me get into it right now. Let me act upon it now. That doesn't happen. It is always in the future. And then we think back, and they also think back in the past, saying that, oh, so many days have passed, thinking that I want to do it. So willingness is there, ability is not there. A lot of people, ability may be there. They may have the right conducive environment. They'll be in completely absolute, no disturbance, everything beautiful. The environment, social conditions are very nice. They may not have the willingness. They may not have the willingness. Thank you. So, this combination, to have willingness and ability, is also requires grace. It also requires grace. So here, Krishna is telling that you've got the grace, you have been in devotion, you've been able to display that devotion, and hence you've got this. And now, by means of giving instruction to other people, he is now telling, Krishna is telling, how can one be in this? How can one be devoted to me? So with the first verse, or the 8th verse, he's saying, Mayyeva mana adhatsva. Fix your mind entirely on me. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Niveshaya means to surrender or to enter. Let your buddhi enter into me. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Niva nivasyashyasi mayyeva. Live in me, within me only. Means let your thoughts always be in me. Ata urdhvam na samshaya. And after that, don't worry about anything. Ataha urdhvam na samshaya. Adukapram, after that, what will happen? Don't worry. Future tense. So he's saying, put your mind, you're right. So Bhagavan could have told, right now, put your mind in me. Mayyeva manadatsa mai buddhim niveshaya nivasashyasi mayyeva ato urdhvam na samshaya. So in a way of saying, Bhagavan is saying that if you put your mind in me, if you put your complete attention on me, if you surrender your intellect to me, then you don't have to worry about anything. So it is almost like saying, if you do this, then this is where you will end up. Which is, you don't have to worry about anything. Taken care. And he is now telling this after the Vishwarupa Darshanam. So we have to remember that context. It is after the Vishwarupa Darshanam, he is saying you have to be in the state to get what you got and to continue to be in that also. We have discussed this a lot of times. We get some experiences, we get really nice feeling. We go into the temples, we go into some Nama Sankirtanam or Mahashivratri, we are sitting, we are doing bhajans, this, that, and the other. We are feeling very emotional, we are feeling completely involved and engaged. But then after that, you come out of it, it is different. We are not able to, Mayyeva, upon me alone, continue to keep your mind in me. So if you do that, then there is nothing for you to worry. That is what he's saying in this verse. And then it's very interesting to see how he progressively makes it easier and easier and easier for the bhakta. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram. Now he starts to say, but if you're not able to fix your mind completely and steadily on me, atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram. In a sthiram form, in me, you're not able to na shaknoshi. Samadhi, samadhatum chittam means your chitta, you're not able to bring it to a samadhi or bring it to the equilibrium state in me, within me, constantly thinking about me. When I close my eyes, I think Krishna. I open my eyes, I think Krishna. going somewhere, I'm thinking Krishna, Krishna, which is why um, I tell you, right, Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam and all of these works are very beautiful because it is filled, of course, it's not filled. There are many, many stories where about Krishna, right? Many stories about Krishna, about how he was, what he did, and all of that. And it creates different facets of this individual Krishna. So when you want to think about Krishna, you can think about Krishna as the little child who killed Putana, or you can think about Krishna who was in the battlefield advising Arjuna, or you can think of Krishna as the little one who's tied to the coral by Yashoda, or you can think about him as who was holding up the Govardhanagiri, or you can think about him as one who was doing Rasa Leela with Radha and the gopis. Right? So you can think about Krishna in various aspects. Think about Krishna as the ruler of Dwaraka who is sitting there and ruling the kingdom. You can think of Krishna as the husband of Rukmini and Satyabhama. So why the stories are important? Because the same person, you can think about the same person in different facets in different ways. See, you take any movie, for example, even today, if you watch a movie, take a Shah Rukh Khan movie or whatever movie we watch, you watch the movie, after we come, our mind is constantly thinking about the scenes of the movie. Correct? Natural. The minds are constantly thinking about the different scenes of the movie. Now, when you do the same thing with the life story of Krishna, for example, the mind will be thinking about the various scenes of his life story. Right? Yes, Mama?
நம்ம அந்த பிரேம் மந்திர் இருந்து இல்லையா துவாரகால,
Ah,
அது எல்லா ஸ்டேஜும் போட்டுருங்க. அது
Ama.
வந்து இருக்கிறது, கோபிகளோட இருக்கிறது, பகவத் அந்த மகாபாரத அந்த இது குருஷேத்திரத்தில் இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த ரதத்தோட இருக்கிறது, அர்ஜுனன் இது பண்றது எல்லாம், அந்த குட்டி கிருஷ்ணன் வெண்ணத்துறதுல இருந்து அவர் கல்யாணம் ஊஞ்சல் ஆடுறதுல இருந்து எல்லாம் இருந்தது. நல்லா
Everything was
இருந்தது.
there. Exactly. So imagine you are there in Vrindavan, every evening you are going there and you are seeing this. Same scenes will keep repeating in your mind. The same scenes will keep coming to your mind, right? So the way what you feed as input into our sense organs, that continues to come again and again in your memory, in your chitta. So chittam samadhatum. So he's saying if you're not able to place your mind in a single place, अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो ततः मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. So saying then if you're not able to keep steadily on me, then practice remembering me with devotion. So which means whenever you think about me, think with devotion. Whenever you're thinking about me, abhyasa, do this as an abhyasa, which means okay, all the time steadily I am not able to think about Krishna. Let me give some time, half an hour, 40 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes in the four whatever 8 hour window. I'll give 10 minutes. I'll think about Krishna. At least do that. If you're not able to steadily keep your mind on me, give little time with devotion. Think about me during that time with devotion. Abhyasa yogena tataha mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. So by abhyasa do this. And then he goes on to say abhyase abhyase api asamarthosi. If you are not able to do even the abhyasa, then matkarma paramo bhava. So then do work for me, do kainkaryam for me. Madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. By doing devotional service to me, you shall attain. Devotional service means you do kainkaryam at the kovil, in the temple, the puja, worship, you do wherever. Places of worship, you go and do devotional service. So first stage is he's saying steadily keep your mind on me. Then he's saying if you are not able to keep your mind on me, at least do abhyasa. Identify times when you can do this as a practice, and during that practice you devote your time and mind to me. Adu mudiliya. Go and do service, devotional service in a temple, or in a wherever, in a community, wherever you are, do Skankaryam. Do this at least. Can you do this? He's saying. Abhyase abhyase api asamarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhima vapsyasi. Adu pannalum porame அப்படிங்கிறார். You do that, that is also sufficient, he's saying. Then he's saying, even that if you are not able to do, athaidat api ashaktosi. If you are not able to do that also, saying, you're templing, you're, oh, Veetla, I'm not able to get, I don't get time to clean up my altar and do my puja and do all of that. I'm not able to do that. Then he's saying, mat yogam ashritaha. Then he's saying, sarva karma phalatyagam tatah guru yatatmavan. So he's saying, you take ashraya in yoga. Which yoga? Karma yoga. In karma yoga, you take ashraya, which means at least renounce the fruits of your action. So when you're acting, when you're doing something, of course, you need to have an aim or a goal. I want to achieve this to do this. But in your mind also, when you're wanting to do an action for a purpose, for an end result, at the same time also internally tell that I renounce, which means I tyaga, I give up the result to you. See, action anyways we are doing. So what he's saying is, first you think about me continuously, which means you do dhyanam, you do some kind of yoga, whatever, you think about me. Not able to, then take time, do abhyasa. Figure out, give yourself some time and space and do this. That is not possible. At least go to some temple or do some kainkaryam, do some worship, do some puja, whatever, in the house or in the temple or wherever. That is also not possible. Or even Sankirtanam, you go to some place, you're wanting to sit for half an hour Sankirtanam, 1 hour Sankirtanam, weekly you want to go, at least do that. That is also not possible. Anyways, you're doing action. Some action or the other we are doing throughout the day. While you're doing the action, the result of the action, give it to me. You don't worry. You don't think about, Ayo and Nago and what will happen. Ayo, I did this, what will happen? Will I get the right result? I did so much work, yet I did not get the result that I was looking for. A lot of these things, these things are huge complexes that we carry. And should I do? Anyways, I don't get recognized. What is the point? Should I do? Don't do. That's okay. The point is, nobody is saying you have to do. But anyways, you can't be quiet also. You have to do. Something you have to do. Do something that elevates you. Don't do something that brings you down, both in your mental space, in your mind, body, spirit. Don't do actions that bring you down. Short, medium, long term. Do actions that are going to elevate you somehow or the other. If not now, in the medium term. If not now, in the long term. Do actions that are going to be a benefit to you, yourself, people around you. And when you're doing that, don't worry about the result. உன்னோட நல்லதுக்கு தானே நான் சொன்னேன். உன் நல்லதுக்கு தானே நான் பண்ணேன். I did it for your good. I'm telling you for your good only. I'm telling because I care for you. It's all good. These are all things that you motivate the other person to do. But then don't, within you, don't make it as a huge cause for conflict. Let's not make that as a huge cause for conflict within ourselves to say that I did it for you only. And then the then that follows from there is the problem. I did it for you only if you're telling so that that person gets it, ayo ama, so that this person has done for me, he spent so much time, energy, effort, maybe money and all of that for me, I have to make good use of it. For that reason you tell. But in your heart, if it's like, I did so much for you, but you did not, no, the what do you call as the epilogue? The epilogue is the problem. The story that we build after that is the one that's going to bother us. Right? So he says, when you're doing action, do it in a way that How you renounce. Now, how do we do this? This is a issue, right? We don't know how to practice this really. Now everybody says karmanyevadhikaraste. The moment everybody tell Bhagavad Gita, you'll say karmanyevadhikaraste. Yes, yes, I know Bhagavad Gita. And we'll see short reels in Instagram. We'll say, I know Bhagavad Gita. Somebody else said, tell me 10 things about Bhagavad Gita. They'll see that Instagram reel, 10 things about Bhagavad Gita. I'll say, okay, now I know Bhagavad Gita. And I'll say, oh, 700 shlokas. Now, can you just tell me quickly in a gist what is Bhagavad Gita about? I don't know if you guys saw this video that came circulating now about a Russian. This father is Russian and the mother Ukrainian. He was a Hare Rama Hare Krishna Swamiji. I don't know his name, but the video came circulating. How he was introduced to this book, and when he was given by Prabhupada or somebody, he was given by someone within the order. They told him that the book is about war, because he is a guy in army. He was in the military, or he's in the military service in the Russian army. And somebody gave him the book saying that, this book is about war, so you can read it. And then he started reading, and then his life completely changed after that. So it's a very nice video. But for us, and he took 1 year. So imagine, this is a Russian guy, and somebody told it's about a war, and you'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for you. He started reading it, and it took him 1 year to read it because words are not easy. Right? Obviously, Sanskrit words are not easy, and he's not introduced to those words, and he's reading with the meaning, etc. So it took him 1 year to finish the 700 shlokas. But see, he had the grace to persist through 1 year. Not many of us have that persistence, right? We don't have that persistence to go through the process. So 700 shlokas, 700 shlokas. Oh my God. Can you just quickly tell me top 15 things? Top 5 things, top 15 things. The result will also be like that only. It'll also be half-baked. It'll be, you don't go through like Chinmayananda Swami, somebody told, we've heard this many times, right? He said, Swamiji, I went through Bhagavad Gita 20 times. So then he tells, did Bhagavad Gita go through you even once? Did Bhagavad Gita go through you? So when we say we've got to do karma yoga, we don't know how to do this, right? He says, Bhagavan says very simply, so what? You just renounce all. You are not able to do any of this, just simply renounce fruits of action. It's like, that itself is difficult for us. Because I'll tell you the problem. Why is that difficult? Because we are associating our identity with the result. Our identity, not just our desires and aspirations, our whole identity is connected with the result. If I say I am a big civil engineer and I can build with this, that, and the other, if the output doesn't come according to the image that I want to keep of myself, the output doesn't come, then I'm shattered. Why? Because the output of my action is associated very, very closely and tightly with the identity that I have myself. So hence I cannot renounce the action, the fruits of action. I have to have an aim or a goal to act. But how do I renounce the fruits of action? Because the fruit is the goal that I set for myself. I set up a goal. I want to build this. I want to do this. I want to achieve this. I want to create this. My child has to be the greatest singer, or my child has to be the greatest performer, or my child has to be the greatest athlete. R. Madhav, an actor, has relocated to Dubai because his son wants to participate in Olympics swimming. So he has given up, he's kind of moved everything lock, stock, barrel. He's come here and he is wanting to support completely. Now, if the child does all that is required to be done and participates in Olympics itself, is a huge thing. Correct. from India, for somebody to go and participate in swimming in Olympics is already a huge achievement. But then that will not be enough. You'll obviously want to qualify, and then yeah, I qualified, and then that is not enough. Then I want to get at least, by of the three, I at least get bronze. But then actually, when you practice, you're not practicing for bronze, you're practicing for gold. You're practicing for gold. But in your mind, you'll say, even if I get bronze, I'll be happy. But actually, when you get bronze, you will not be happy. There is this, I think, archery. There's this lady, there's a video that came around who narrated this Karmanyavadhikaraste as a shloka. She actually won bronze in the Olympics. And when she was asked, she was interviewed, she said, I did the best and I got whatever I got. I have no this thing. Now, if somebody is able to truly say that, that is really beautiful. That person has really understood Karmanyavadhikaraste. So karma yoga is very difficult actually. Although Bhagavan has put it saying that if you're not able to do anything, at least do karma yoga, renouncing the fruits of our actions is quite difficult. Because, as I said, our identity is very closely associated with it. So for us, I wouldn't say that it's either the first or the second or the third or the fourth. No, Bhagavan has said first what? First, keep your mayeva, keep your mind on me. Second one, he's saying, if you're not able to, abhyasa yogena at least, through abhyasa. Third, he's saying, um, um, what is he saying in the third one? Even if you're not able to, you do worship me, do worship, do kainkaryam, do nama sankirtanam, etc. Right? You do that. If that also you're not able to, then you do karma yoga. Although Krishna has said like this, I think we have to do all of it. It is not an or condition. Because when Krishna says do this, at least this, at least this, it means that you do that with 100% dedication, commitment, absolutely you give yourself to it. And then you see something coming out of it. Oh, we all do Araghore only. Le? So when we are doing all Araghore, we are not able to put ourselves 100% to it. Then it's best you do all of this. You continue to think about him. You do Abhyasa Yoga, which means you keep time aside for him. You do Kainkaryam and you do Karma Yoga also. Then Bhagavan continues to say, Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanad dhyanam vishishyate. He's saying better than just practicing mechanically, knowledge is better. Jnanam abhyasat. So, Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. So, chumma just practicing every day, I want to sit 15 minutes, I'll keep aside time, I'll sit. After a point, it becomes mechanical. It's good. But better than that is knowledge. Get some understanding. Do it with understanding. Without understanding, chumma, you just keep doing it, it'll become routine, it'll become a ritual, which may not yield uh, the ultimate result. May give you some, it'll give you some little bit of, you'll be less angry, you'll be less agitated. Some of those positive effects will be there, but it will not give you the ultimate freedom, liberation, moksha that you're looking for. So this is Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Jnana is better than abhyasa, just mechanical practice. Then jnanad dhyanam vishishyate. From jnanam or this knowledge, dhyanam is better. Because what is the difference between knowledge and dhyanam? Knowledge is for the intellect. Dhyanam is experiential. When you do dhyanam, you get experience. So just by reading, listening, reading, better than that is dhyanam, nididhyasanam. That is why we say shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. So you do nididhyasanam. That is better than just shravanam and mananam. Then dhyanat karma phalatyagaha. Now again he is saying that greater than dhyanam is karma phalatyaga. If you are able to renounce the results of your action, then he says tyagaha, tyagat shantim anantaram. From that renunciation comes shanti. Shanti, peace. So by doing, so he's saying again, going back to what we said earlier, don't look at it as this or that or that. Right? We do this and also this, which means we do abhyasa, we do also gathering, accumulation or understanding of knowledge. We also do dhyanam, which is meditation. We also do karma phalatyagaha. All of these we do. Then possibly there is a possibility of getting a certain peace inside. Right? And then he goes on to say, now let's just spend a moment or two on just the abhyasa part. Because the next two shlokas, 13 and 14, he talks about the nature of this individual, the devotee who is the nature of the adveshta, sarvabhutana, maitrehi, karunevacha, nirmamaha, nirahankaraha, samadukhaha. So he's talking about the nature of the bhakta. But in these first few, or the 8 up until 12, the verses, 5 verses of 8 up until 12, he is spoken about bringing your attention to what you need to do. You don't get Bhagavan's grace without doing anything. My guru's guru would say grace is directly proportional to effort. If you want to receive grace, you have to put effort. சும்மா இருந்தாலாம் ஒன்றும் நடக்காது. Right? By சும்மா இரு is an upadesha for the highest order. Somebody who is an uttama sadhaka. Such a person, you would say சும்மா இரு, then it is meaning something. For us, சும்மா இரு doesn't make sense. It's like I cannot give you an extremely sharp knife when you don't know how to even handle a spoon. Right? Even with a spoon, if you can hurt yourself, how can I give an extremely sharp knife? Right? So Bhagavan is saying, I will give you that. Of course, he is laying out everything, but you have to put effort. It's very clear. That is why Bhagavad Gita, amongst all uh, uh, the the sutras and the Upanishads and the scriptures, all kinds of texts, Bhagavad Gita stands the tallest is because of this very clearly. It doesn't talk about you sit in a corner and then meditate for 24 hours. Those who can do, but those who can't, there is also a way. By being in society, in life, in your household, being a grahastha, being whatever an ashrama you are in, whatever ashrama you are in, you can still pick up the Bhagavad Gita and it will be applicable to you. In whatever field of work you are in, Bhagavad Gita will still be applicable to you. That is why the whole delivery happened in the middle of the battlefield, which means it is life itself. Where life is happening, that is where Bhagavad Gita has to be practiced. So the things that he has mentioned now is he is saying that you can do it and you must do it. There is no other way. If you can't do these things also, then I don't know. Right? Bhagavan himself will say, இதுவும் முடியலன்னா எனக்கு இதுக்கு மேல தெரியாது பாடி. You teach me. Always you teach me what I should do. So the See, when you're talking about abhyasa, the thing that I recently heard from Ananda Mahima. Ananda Mahima, those who know of her, we went to her ashrama also in Haridwar, Rishikesh, Haridwar. Her ashram is there in a place called Kankal. We sat there and we meditated. Beautiful saint. She said this, and it felt very profound. And those who can pick it up should be able to pick it up. What she said is, whatever you're doing, you are doing your daily activities, your daily puja, your daily meditation, whatever you're doing, you do. Just take out 15 minutes in a day. Identify a time. 15 minutes in a day. Identify whatever time of the day. Fix it. Think of all the different kinds of things you can engage in during a day, during the whole week. Think, oh, these days I have these things happening these days. Think about all of that and then identify a 15-minute slot and fix it. Fix yourself for that 15-minute slot. And then when that slot occurs, either set up an alarm or whatever, when that time occurs, withdraw yourself completely. Withdraw yourself completely. And if you're in the midst of action or whatever, become silent. If there are people around you, have to tell them that next 15 minutes I'm going to be silent or whatever. Just completely don't engage, don't interact, don't transact, don't speak. Or go tell that I have to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom and sit there in the bathroom. She says this. Think that those 15 minutes you have given it to Bhagavan. She says this. 15 minutes you identify in a day and you tell this one, Bhagavan, I have given it to you. And then I am not going to. So those 15 minutes, she says, completely shut off and do whatever japa you want to do, whatever you want to do. But obviously, don't think about your household, don't think about your work and all that, right? Drop everything, drop your identity, drop anything comes, drop. Tell Bhagavan, this 15 minutes is for you. Bhagavan, this time is for you. Bhagavan, this is for you. Bhagavan, I am not, right now, I don't want to do anything. Bhagavan, this is your time. He says, do this for a period of time. Say at the end of it, she says, your body will naturally start to respond to this time automatically. Your body and mind, when that time occurs, you will not require an alarm. Your body and mind will automatically become quiet. Your body and mind will automatically want to think, be in that state. And that state will also seep into the rest of the day slowly. So this is different from your time for meditation that you do. You're doing your breathing exercises, you're doing your your puja, or whatever you're doing, Sankit, whatever you're doing, you're you're doing Maranam, Nididhyasanam, all of that. This take 10-15 minutes and write it off to him. So it's a very profound abhyasa. It's a very profound practice. Right? If you can practice this, I think it'll. But again, all of these things you have to practice for a period of time, like 21 days. We give ourselves a little time. Every day now I'm saying that, okay, this time to this time, 15 minutes. Yeah. So 15 minutes, I do it this way, right? So those are the 5 verses today. Okay, so we'll pick up the 13th verse onwards next week. But I thought this will be nice to kind of also look at how we partition our day for such activities. How we partition our day, do it for like 21 days and then do some of these activities for 21 days and then we will see the result of our own. And then when we see the result, we will feel like wanting to do a little more, do a little more, do a little more. So he's saying, right, Shanti Manantaram. This will give you that Shanti that you're always wanting, that you're always looking for. Because we are so disturbed, so caught up, so agitated, so in this whirlwind. He's saying that will come down. Shanti Anantaram. Okay. All right. So we'll pause here today. Oh, कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओं तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः।